Speak softly, love, and hold me warm against your heart. I feel your words, the tender, trembling moment start. We're in a world, our very own, sharing a love that only few have ever known. Wine-colored days, warmed by the sun, deep velvet nights, when we are one. Speak softly, love, so no one hears us but the sky. The vows of love we make will live until we die. My life is yours, and all because you came into my world with love, so softly, love.
Exactly 50 years ago today, Saturday, June 21, 1969, at 6 o'clock in the evening at the St. James Parish in Plaridel, Bulacan, my parents, Galileo Ceniza Bontuyan and Justina Oliveros Avendaño, were married and exchanged vows to love each other and care for each other. Thy kingdom come. We are all gathered here today to celebrate and cherish the golden anniversary of Leo and Baby's wedding vows, as well as the renewal of their vows in Cana, Israel, last November, and here in Timonium, Maryland, today. Leo and Baby joined the pilgrimage to the Holy Land last November and took the opportunity to renew their wedding vows in the biblical town of Cana in Galilee, Israel. For those of you who pray the rosary every day like my mother, you will know that it was in a wedding at Cana where Jesus made his first miracle by turning water into wine. But before going any further, let's switch back the clock to when this all began. September 30, 1940, a baby boy was born in Mandaue, Cebu, to Simplicio Layson Bontuyan and Sergia Ceniza Bontuyan. His mother, a science and history teacher, named the boy Galileo after the Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei. At this time, World War II was already raging in Europe. December 7, 1941 was described by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt as the Day of Infamy. That was the day when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii without warning. Soon after, the Philippines was also attacked by Japanese forces. Leo was only 1 year old at that time. Exactly 2 years after the attack on Pearl Harbor, a baby girl was born in Plaridel, Bulacan. My father would later describe the date as the Day of Harmony for obvious reasons. The baby girl's parents were Antonio Lazuela Santos Avendaño and Angelina Oliveros Avendaño, also a public school teacher. Their baby was named Justina after her grandmother. She was lovingly given a nickname of Baby to identify her as the new Justina or Baby Justina, the nickname she still carried today. So grandkids, here's the answer to your question why Loleng is called Baby when she is already a grandma. Anyway, Leo and Baby spent their early years during the war. Leo in the mountain region of Cebu and Baby in the hinterlands of Bulacan. Leo has two brothers and one sister. He is the third child. Baby also has 3 siblings, 2 sisters and 1 brother. But one sister unfortunately died at an early age. Baby was also the 3rd child. Coincidence? You decide. Both Leo and Baby grew up under the watchful eyes of their loving parents during and after the war. While hiding from the Japanese in the mountains of Cebu, Leo remembers how he enjoyed eating coconuts, sweet potatoes, bananas, and papayas, and of course, corn every day. Baby, on the other hand, remembers eating rice lugaw, eggs, and hito, or catfish. That's her favorite. The war finally ended in 1945 when 2 atomic bombs were dropped in Japan, forcing them to surrender. In 1946, the public school systems all over the country were reopened, but Leo and baby Justina were too young to enter the grade schools. At that time, there were no preschools and kindergarten. The children go straight to grade 1. Leo started schooling in 1947 and baby Justina in 1949. Fast forward, Leo graduated high school in 1957, while baby Justina in 1959. By the way, baby Justina finished at the top of her class both in elementary and high school. Leo's parents wanted him to be a doctor, but he always wanted to be an engineer. So he enrolled at the University of San Carlos in Cebu, graduating in 1962 with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. A year later, he went to Germany in a scholarship grant to take advanced studies in industrial management. He had the opportunity to do internships at various German industrial companies, including Daimler-Benz, the manufacturer of Mercedes-Benz cars and buses, Bosch International Corporation, and Kloeckner-Humboldt-Deutz Corporation, or KHD, the largest German industrial conglomerate. During his stint at KHD, Leo was introduced to a Filipino entrepreneur, Aurelio Montinola Jr., President and CEO of Amon Trading Corporation, one of the top 10 largest corporations in the Philippines in the 1960s and maybe even today. Mr. Montinola was visiting KHD at that time to finalize negotiations to represent KHD products, which includes heavy equipment for construction, agricultural tractors, ships, cement plants, and others. Mr. Montinola wasted no time and immediately offered Leo a job as a special technical assistant to the president and CEO, an offer which he couldn't refuse. He cut short his training program and decided to return to the Philippines on his birthday, September 30, 1965, to start working with Amon Trading Corporation as Special Technical Assistant to the President and CEO. Meanwhile, after finishing college at the University of Santo Tomas, Baby wanted to proceed to law school. She always wanted to be a lawyer, but a friend of hers asked her if she wanted to teach at the Immaculate Conception Academy in Manila. Her natural love for children prompted her to try the teaching job offered to her, so she decided to be a kindergartnerin. For those of you who don't speak German, that means a female kindergarten teacher. This decision changed her life forever, for soon after she would meet the love of her life at the boarding house she was staying. Can you imagine, on the very day Baby moved into the boarding house, Leo arrived few hours later at the same house, which is owned by his relative. By the way, the owner of that house is present here today. let me introduce to you Papa's cousin, Miss Charito Ceniza Loresca. She now lives in Fort St. Lucie, Florida, with her 2 children and grandchildren. Anyway, few days after the initial meeting, Leo decided to move out of the house and rented an apartment closer to his office in Makati and Mandaluyong. He traveled all over the country to visit all the branch offices of Amon Trading in Cebu, Bacolod, Iloilo, and Davao. But whenever he is in Manila, he always make it a point to visit his cousin, Charito. It was during these visits that he began to notice Baby, who is one of 4 girls boarding in the house. All 4 are pretty, but Leo saw something in Baby's smile and eyes that made her special. And the feeling was mutual. Both Leo and Baby maintained that it was not love at first sight. Rather, it was love developed over time, meant to last forever. They started dating after a whirlwind courtship on Easter Sunday, 1966. They were going steady for 3 years, and on Easter Sunday 1969, Leo went to Playa del Bulacan to meet the parents of Baby and told them his intention to marry their daughter. Baby's parents promptly told him to come back and bring along his parents if he was really serious about his intention. So in May 1969, Leo's parents came all the way from Cebu, and together they went to Baby's hometown to make the traditional Filipino pamanhikan. And on June 21st, 1969, Saturday at 6 o'clock p.m., 50 years ago today, Leo and Baby tied the knot at the St. James Parish Church in Playa del Bulacan. Soon after their marriage, Leo decided to leave Amon Trading and join Exxon Philippines. Baby delivered their first child on Easter Sunday, 1970. Easter really played an important role on Papa and Mama's lives. It was on Easter Sunday, 1966, when the relationship started. Easter Sunday, 1969, when Papa proposed marriage. And it was Easter Sunday, 1970, when their firstborn came. Well, anyway, after delivering her first child, Baby stopped working at ICAM to become a full-time housewife. She joined Papa in Bacolod, where he was assigned along with their newly born baby boy. In 1971, the second child came, another boy, and that's me, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know yet. My 2 younger siblings, Sheila and Cheryl, were born in 1973 and 1974. The family moved back to Manila in May 1974 when Exxon was acquired by the government and became PNOC, or the Philippine National Oil Company. After the birth of her 4th child, Mama decided to go back to work. First at the City Engineer's Office in Manila and later at Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, where she rose from the ranks, from secretary to executive secretary to university secretary and finally to HRD manager. She was about to be promoted to vice president, but she opted to retire in 2006 to join the family in the US. Papa came to the US in 1985 after his stint with PNOC to pursue his profession. He joined Ashland Chemical, Fairmount Chemical, and Newchem Corporation before retiring in 2007 to help Mama take care of the grandkids. In all, Leo and Baby's marriage is blessed with 4 good-looking and successful children and 10 adorable grandchildren, 4 girls and 6 boys. Here with us today is my Kuya JJ and my sisters Sheila and husband John and Cheryl and husband Joel. As mentioned earlier, Papa and Mama joined a pilgrimage to the Holy Land last year and took the opportunity to renew their vows on the eve of their 50th wedding anniversary at the Biblical Church at Cana, close to Galilee in Israel. Here are the highlights of the wedding. At the reception that followed in the hotel where they were staying in Israel, Leo and Baby again renewed their vows to each other. Here, let's listen to their vows. First, si Mama. Ladies first.
So please promise, darling, that you love me too. I'll be faithful to you, and no matter what happens, my love will be true. Please hear my love and devotion that will not die and will not fade. Say that your love and devotion will be the same like I gave.
Now it's Papa's turn. Let's listen.
I'll be loving you eternally with a love that's true eternally. From the start within my heart, it seems I've always known the sun would shine when you were mine and mine alone. I'll be loving you eternally. There'll be no one new, my dear, for me. Though the sky should fall, remember I shall always be forever true and loving you eternally. The sky should fall, remember I shall always be forever true and loving you eternally.
Wow, how sweet of them. But we are not done yet. In 2017, Papa and Mama also went on a pilgrimage to Portugal, Spain, and France to visit various holy places such as the Marian apparition sites in Fatima, Portugal, and Lourdes, France in Spain. They visited the shrines of Saint Cecilia and Saint Teresa in Avila and the shrine of Saint James the Apostle in Santiago de Compostela, where they witnessed the unique way the church does the incense blessing, or funeral incenso, as they call it in Spain. We are lucky that Mama caught the ceremony on video, and as a fitting tribute to Saint James the Apostle, the patron saint of Plaridel, Bulacan, where Leo and Baby got married 50 years ago, let us all witness the beautiful ceremony to conclude the presentation.